Good morning. I'm out here today harvesting some St. John's wort. Typically I'll come down here and I can only get this once a year, and I make a nice medicinal salve out of it. I use it primarily for myself. However, my friends have really liked it, so I'm harvesting a little bit more because I've started selling it on my Etsy store or at the farmer's market. St. John's wort is a very powerful herb, and I actually, when I made the salve, it was really good. It helped me with some of my pain that I was having. It's a topical that I make, and I'm very drug resistant, or I don't want to say drug resistant, but I have a hard time with types of medications because my system is so sensitive that when I do the St. John's wort, it actually works well for me. Sometimes harvesting the St. John wort can be a bit tricky because where I get it, it's also amongst the blackberry briars out here, and I'll be harvesting those coming up soon, but it can get poked quite a bit, so you want to be careful with that. If you think you're going to get poked, I just wear some nice gloves. I'd mentioned that the St. John's wort is a medicinal herb, and it's pretty powerful. So my recommendation is that you consult your physician before you use any of this, because it can interact with certain types of medications. I know my latest surgery, I was asked to quit taking the St. John's wort for at least a week because they said it acted as a blood thinner and it wasn't going to be good for my surgery. So I didn't use it, but typically I will take it internally, and I take it as a salve that I make. So after I get done picking today, I'm going to go ahead and set it up in some of my jars to sit for a while. That process for me will take several months before I'm ready to actually use it. One of the things when I do for picking this St. John's wort too is I don't want to pick the entire plant, so I leave some pods on each of them so they can reproduce for the next year out here. Definitely preserving the plant itself to make sure it reproduces allows me to come out and harvest this. And I don't know that anybody else really harvests any of this plant out where I'm at. I haven't seen anybody picking it. It didn't look like anybody's harvested any of it prior to. I started picking this last year as I found it. I actually pick a lot of stuff out here at this area. I find many plants that I want to pick during the year, throughout the year. As I mentioned, we have the briars coming in, and I'm going to do a little video about harvesting the blackberries. I also just found some shallon in here, some shallon berries, and they're going to be ready in anywhere from the next 2 weeks to a month. Now that I'm done foraging for the St. John's wort, I'm going to take it home and process it. So I'll show some video. Now that I've brought the St. John's wort home, what I'm going to do is fill up some jars. Make sure the jars are clean if you've reused them especially if you used them for any other salves. I want to pack them in there. Take out extra. I'm trying to get most of the grass out, but it doesn't always work. Packed both the jars. And then I'm going to add my oil. Alright, now that I have both of the jars filled up, what I'm going to do is add my oil to it. And what I like to do is put a little bit of rosehip oil in there. This contains a lot of vitamin C, which is a natural preservative. Let that sink in. Okay, the next step is I'm going to add my oil to it, and typically I'm either going to use an avocado oil. I like the non-GMO organic, or an olive oil. Those are the two that I'm going to use. It doesn't really matter to me which one I have. So I'm going to fill them up to the top, and then I'm going to put them in and let them sit. This is one I'll show you that I did yesterday, and as you can see, it's already starting to turn that reddish brown color, which is what I want. When you fill these up, you kind of have to let them sit a little bit and let them soak in, because there's a lot of plant. I'll just fill it about, looks like it's full, but as soon as all the air bubbles come out, I'll end up topping them off. As you can see, the air bubbles moving. And after they're full, I'm just going to let them sit. Sometimes I might put them in a double boiler and heat them up. Not too terribly hot. That'll take the process. If you want, you can let them sit 6 to 8 weeks for them to really get into the oil. But if you use the double boiler, you know, I'd still like to let it sit for another 4 weeks before I'm ready to process it into a salve. These ones I'm going to let sit. I've got some other stuff I do need to boil, so I'll probably go ahead and boil them just to keep the process down time a little bit shorter. Other than that, that's how I pick my St. John's wort, and then I set it in my jars and let it sit so that it can soak. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe. I plan on putting some more content out for my foraging around the area where I live. Thank you.